Kayleen, thanks for clicking on my channel. I want to get a graphic book club going, so let's kind of share our ideas. But today's graphic book review is on Najem, a war reporter. I emailed him and asked him permission to do this review on my channel, and he answered. I'm always impressed when people answer, especially people you don't know, especially guys too, because they forget. That's just my own kind of, but not really a joke. It's a realism, I think, sometimes. But I also just finished doing the review of this book on my channel, Accidental Czar. So it is kind of coincidental that I happen to be reading both these books. I am a big library person, so if you can't afford these books and you still want to read them, I mean, we still want to learn. The library is a fantastic place. The library buys lots of books. So if your library doesn't have this book, number one, ask the library to buy it. They're almost always looking for ideas to buy. And, of course, you can buy it yourself, right? So this book, many times had me in tears. He had a really good, he has, and I still do, have fantastic father. So I was really sad for him when he lost his father. And then, I mean, that's a spoiler alert, but that happens in the beginning of the story. So I'm sorry for that spoiler alert, but I highly recommend you still read this book. It teaches you a lot. And since the two books that I just did are both, this one's about Syria, and he talks about Putin in here, so it's a little bit more history lesson. We need to know history lesson. And I hope that if you ask any questions on my channel about this book, that Muhammad will see it and maybe he'll answer some questions, because I have a couple of questions that I'm going to ask during this video. So this is the War Reporter. The art was fantastic in this, so I will try to see about emailing Julie Robine and telling her about this book. And if she ever has a problem, I'll take it right back off, right? So this was the beginning of the book where he was feeling safe. He was in eastern Ghouta, Syria in January 2011. The art is fantastic in this book, the colors, and then of course the colors fit the mood and what happened with the story. So I wanted to share some of my favorite art, some of my favorite stories and questions about this. But I don't really like, oh, here it is. That's why I copied this section, because when he was talking to his father, and his father was telling him to be careful, but he said he didn't really understand. But he is a child, so it's hard for a child to fathom danger, right? And see the colors in this and what happens and stuff. See these colors, and reading the book lets you process it. And this is what I think is one of the benefits of reading a book with images, right? Watching images, looking at images is more of a challenge for your brain than even playing chess. So that's what I learned from all the brain books. Take Care of My Mother, and I used to make her do art with me, or even challenge when I was doing my art. And I copy some artists into my journal to learn too. So looking at it slowly like this, I think it lets you process it easier and better for your brain than watching a movie, because a movie, frames go by every 0.0001 split second. So reading the books lets you take your time and absorb it and learn it and remember it. And if you always take little notes while you're reading a book, so this is a good history lesson too. So this is when he's having to hide. Oh, some other questions on. I'm not sure whether I should share that, because so really good stories. And it goes to show it's not the surroundings, but good living. Oh, yeah. So that even though they weren't in a bad surroundings in eastern Ghouta when they were bombing, this just goes to show, you can look for happiness and to be grateful for something, no matter what the situation is. It's not always the surroundings. It's a good, loving family, loving people. And then it doesn't have to be a family that loves you. It could be loving people, right? Oh, so I wanted to copy these expressions. I'm going to copy these into my journal to learn and copy her art. And I think that the more you kind of, and I'm going to do another video about how I use my journal to consciously remember my life. So writing down, drawing pictures and copying from artists, I'm consciously remembering. And then also eventually, instead of like when artists always keep trying to copy stuff, I mean, I feel like you're kind of copying stuff that don't really help you in your life. So by copying this, I'm getting a more of a repertoire in my brain of drawing as well, faces and everything else. So I just feel like I'd rather kill two birds with one stone, right? You can improve your brain or improve your memory and also improve your drawing. Of his father. So like I said, he has, and I have. And I hope, Muhammad, you're looking for signs that I did see, I'm not going to spoil it, but I hope you're looking for signs your father's talking to you, because I see signs that my father's teasing me. Yeah, I wrote here, we need more people in this world like his father and mine. So, I wanted to copy his expressions here, his expression and his brother, so I'll keep that there. See, there's some other really good art, good expressions. It really puts you there, and it's slower, so it's better for your brain. And this was a really good, Robin did a really good job of kind of giving us a good image of what it's like there. I'm not sure I'm going to copy. The dogs are, I'm going to try it. Even if I look at it and think, that might be above my artistic grade right now, I'm still going to try it just for me, right? And the last thing, if anybody knows, if you don't know, look up the Milgram experiment, because I couldn't help but think while reading this, the people that were flying the planes and dropping the bombs, do they not realize they're dropping them on civilians? But it's another good example of the Milgram experiment. Look up the Milgram experiment. And the last thing I kind of wanted to, this was really good, about talking to his uncle and about what ifs. There's no room for what ifs. But there is a comment in here that Muhammad said, and he was hoping that people would help. And number one, I have been avoiding watching the news for decades. I mean, the expression when it comes to the news, if it bleeds, it leads, right? And they never tell you what you can do, how you can help. They just make you mad. So my answer to Muhammad asking this question is we don't know what to do. We can probably try to figure out who would be a good politician to help, but in reality, we don't really know what we can do unless someone tells us, okay, like later on, he's got a good story about helping somebody else when he moves. And that was something that we could do. We could send money to help this girl get a prosthetic leg. But in a lot of ways, we don't know what to do. I wouldn't have known what to do if I was watching the news and saw this happening. I mean, you kind of know what's happening in the world, but if you watch everything, you just can't live you just try, but you just have to. So that's my answer to his question. And let me know in the comments if you disagree, if you know what to do all the time. If you do know what to do, if there's a website, I don't really want to just send money because you don't really know if the money's going where it needs to be, right? So it's one of those questions. So I'm not going to do a spoiler for the rest of the story. It's a very good book. I highly recommend. A big shout out to Muhammad Najem for what he did. He was trying to help. We need more people that will help, right? So thanks a lot for listening. I hopefully hope that you like and comment. Please comment. Say something, please. Take care. Bye-bye.